Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Eyes On Avs, part of the EPS family of podcasts by the fans, for the fans, diehards only. I'm Cam, and I'm here with Eric. No Dave this week. He's at his son's graduation, so congrats to him. Time with family, just us two this time, but welcome back. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? I'm ready to talk some abs. We got a
Just
good
us.
week.
Yeah,
I know.
we did a sweep.
I know. Come on. I'm gonna miss Dave. I know Dave was
I
so
know.
pumped. He was sending us all the images of the abs sweeping. So
No.
we'll
Yeah, it
miss
kind of
you,
sucks,
Dave.
but
We'll miss
yeah,
you, Dave. But good job
go
being
ahead.
responsible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll miss you. Hopefully, he should be back next week, but just us two hold down the fort. But yeah, obviously the Avs swept the Kings. I think. I mean, we'll kind of get into some different stuff, but I think they played their best game that game for sure.
Oh yeah.
More Av like for sure.
That was the abs we have been waiting to see for sure.
Yes. Like I said, we'll get into it a little bit later. I'm a little concerned about the long layoff.
Yes.
Rust wise, but rest wise, it'll be beneficial. But I guess we'll see what happens when we get there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
But before we get into more Avs talk, because they obviously swept the Kings and they're done, so we'll talk about that a little bit. But we have a lot of other series going on. We'll kind of get some reactions from all the other games and rounds going on, and what we think has been the most surprising, and players that have been good, bad so far. So, Eric, what one do you want to talk about first, or what has surprised you about it besides the Avs? What series, what player has made you go like, wow?
Okay. I was just talking about this with my wife because we did the NHL brackets and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I was really shocked by the Flyers. Wow, I know Talkett, that coach, is a pretty good coach, but I thought they were like a year away from being like playoff dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like, Crosby, Malkin. I know this series is not over, not anywhere close, even though they're going into a game 6. But that game has shocked me how, Owen Tippett, they have a few guys that have like been pretty effective in the NHL and pretty good players, but they haven't really had a superstar or anyone that they can kind of lean on.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just somehow, like, those first 3 games I watched, I think game 1 and 3, and I was like, oh my gosh, are the Penguins gonna roll over and die in this series? Like, they had no fight, and their offense looked terrible, so bad. I was like, oh my gosh. So I would say that game or that series
Mm-hmm.
has shocked me the most. I feel like all the other ones, I felt like they were going to be pretty competitive. I mean, I knew, similar to the Avs, that the Carolina Ottawa series was going to be one of the hardest sweeps ever. But I kind of felt like that one was going to be a gentleman's sweep at the max. So I feel like that Philly, the battle for Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that one shocked me. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could have gone either way. Like, I think I picked the Flyers to win the series, but if the Penguins won, I wouldn't have been like, oh wow, like that's shocking. It was shocking, kind of like you said, that they went down 3-0. They looked like garbage. Crosby was getting all flustered, which he looked like a rookie Crosby again, where all he had to do was slash him, and he got. I mean, what was that? Was it Sandheim? I think that in one game where they had like the slashing battle against each other, like right at the end. And
Yes.
like, man, he's losing it. Like, I mean, they're clawing their way back. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely.
We don't know how that's going to end. But with the Ottawa series too, like, I thought Carolina was going to win, but I didn't think it was going to be. I thought maybe 5 or 6, but a sweep in the way they did it, because I think Ottawa's power play was worse than the Avs. I want to say they were like 1 for 19,
Yeah,
I believe. And Brady didn't have any points, which was shocking too. He started off the game one with the fight. I was like, okay, here we go. And then that was it.
yeah.
But
Ottawa's big guns didn't show up at all.
correct, they didn't. And what sucks is they were talking before the playoffs that if Ottawa got like decent goaltending, they're like a top 5 team.
Yeah,
Guess
yeah.
what? They got amazing goaltending by Olmark, and they didn't win a single game. That's just got to be like, what the heck?
Yeah. I was shocked by that too because Olmark, I was like, oh, he's playing out of his mind. Kind of similar to like Sabres and Boston. It was
Mhm.
like, okay, if Swayman plays like good, they're gonna run away with it. Swayman's been carrying the team and they're in the hole. So
Yeah,
I was like, what is going on? Like goaltending is showing up for some teams, but the team's not showing up.
yeah, yeah. Other than that, I mean, I think with McDavid being injured, it doesn't. I shouldn't say that. I thought the Oilers would still win because the Ducks played so bad for the last month and a half that I didn't think they could
Yes.
flip the switch and be like maybe one win and the Oilers are still gonna beat them. But obviously something happened before game one and they're a whole different team. And again, that one is going farther now, so who knows? The Oilers could come back. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but my favorite series probably to watch besides the Avs so far has been Buffalo Boston because even though I'm not a Buffalo fan, I 14 years no playoffs. I feel for
Yeah.
those guys. Like I watched game one. I was like, I want to see this crowd. Like I was pumped up watching the game, and they didn't disappoint. I don't know if you watched the game last night or not.
I
Um,
didn't.
so obviously, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm an Avs fan, so I don't have
Yeah,
a.
yeah.
I'm not a Saber. I'm not a Bruin, so I can say this with no bias. The refs, man, I I get you don't want to like decide the game in overtime with a penalty, but you can't not call something that's so obvious because it's overtime.
Did you
So
think it was offsides?
basically, no, I looked at it today again, and he's onside by millimeters. Like I zoomed in, and like his toe pick is on the blue line. So I don't have an issue with that. It's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
so Buffalo was dominating like 3, 4 minutes before, like in their zone the entire time. Like shot, rebound, shot, go get it. I'm like, oh, here we go. They're gonna get it. And in a span of like 30 seconds, can't remember who it was. Someone behind the net got like tackled, like straight up, like he missed the puck. The puck rimmed around. He's looking back. McAvoy just tackles him to the ground, and the crowd, of course, is like, boo, like what the heck? And I'm like, okay, like that's bad, but whatever. And then someone got slashed, their stick broke when they had the puck. I'm like, okay. And then Tuck had the puck. Tuck and Thompson are in front of the net, and I can't remember the two Boston D that were in there, but basically they shot. Thompson was close to the net. He went to go get the rebound. The Boston defense, there's a screenshot. I'll have to send it to you after the pod. You can see the picture.
Yeah.
Thompson has a stick like this. He's got two arms wrapped. His arms are pinned to his side because someone's bear hugging him in front of the net. Like he can't even use his stick. Tuck was able to get it and get a shot, but they're like Thompson is held completely by two hands. No call. So that's three things in 30 seconds. And right after that, the rebound goes up to Pasta. Goal. And I watched the goal. I was like, I wasn't thinking about offsides. I was like, where are the penalties? Like they
Yeah.
just mugged him, and no big deal. I'm like, you can't. I get not wanting to call a penalty and decide on, but
Yeah, yeah.
you got to follow the rules. Like, come on, it
Yeah.
was crazy.
It's like you can let a little bit go, but guys getting, bear hugged. I think that's when you gotta be like, all right, we might have to call something here.
Yeah, like especially 3 times. Like one time, like okay, but it was like 3 times in 30 seconds, three different situations, no call, and then make it even worse as they go down and score. Pasta scores that goal. So like if I was a
Yeah.
Saber or Sabres fan, I was mad for him, and I'm like, I don't care who wins.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
I did love though. I did see like a few clips and stuff. I did love Pasta chirping the Boston or the Buffalo fans and
Mhm.
just yelling. I was like, that's the stuff we need more of in the NHL. Just like seen a little more attitude, a little more swagger from NHL players. I think we're
Yeah.
starting to get there, but I always think of the NHL as very like blue collared, like, hey, we're gonna do our work, we're gonna do it well, and then we're gonna clock out and get out of here, not say anything too like spicy or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Just
But
keep it even keel. That's it. No. Yeah.
yes, but Pasta chirping the fans and just like banging the glass and like yelling at some dudes. I was like, that is playoff hockey. That is the stuff I want
Yeah.
to see more of. I loved
Yeah.
every bit of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make this story
Mhm.
short. I'll interject. Talk about my
Yeah.
glory days of playing and
Oh,
kind of
come on. We need
related to that,
all of Cam's glory
which is
days.
hilarious. So, back when I was still playing junior, we played in Montana and in Butte. And I don't know if you've ever been to Butte, but they call it
Uh,
the butthole of Montana, basically, because
the butt of Butte.
yeah, you can imagine why. So it was like an old cattle arena. So behind the benches was like those cattle guard, like the 3 poles or whatever. So people's feet could be like touching the back of your head when you sit on the bench, which is not great.
They
And
could
I'll
touch
never,
you.
yeah, they could touch us. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
which not great, right?
I could imagine.
Well, I just never forget people like cussing, like whatever. I've heard it.
Totally.
That doesn't bother me. I actually love when people say that stuff because it fires me up. But like little kids like throwing popcorn, like flipping us off. They're like 5 years old. I'm like, where? Oh my god. Well, we ended up winning the game in overtime, and we did the pasta. Like we all went in the corner, and we, of course, we flipped them off because we're 18,
Yeah.
19, we're like whatever. And I'll just never forget. I mean, it's not the NHL. There's probably 1,000 people in there, but beer cans, beer bottles, popcorn, all on the ice immediately. So like we score, the boos come down, we go bam, bam, bam with the salutes,
Yeah.
and then it just looks like food and
Little
drink
birdies.
everywhere. And like the coach is like, get off the ice, because like we could have got hit with like beer bottles or
Oh
something.
yeah, totally.
But I loved it. Like I got in the locker, I was like, this is
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. Yeah, that's the stuff you want. Just that little intensity to be like, all right, time for some little birdies to show up.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. When Pasta scored, he went right over in the corner. He was yelling at those. I loved it. I was like, this is awesome. This is
Yes, it was
awesome.
the best. Okay,
Yeah.
I know. One more question though before we
Okay.
get into
Okay.
first round. It
Okay.
is what series for you has been the least surprising? Like going exactly to script.
Can
How
I
you
say the
predicted.
Avs?
No, not the Avs. That
Not the-
was too easy. We all knew we were gonna
Okay.
show
Least
the Kings
surprising.
what's good.
That's a really great question. Least surprising series. Probably Utah, Vegas, because I knew they're pretty even. Like
Yeah.
Utah's faster than Vegas, but Vegas has the experience. So it's kind of like the new excited team and speed versus the experience, but still have the talent. And I knew it's probably going to go 7. That's probably been the least surprising for sure for me.
That
What about you?
that Vegas Utah series, I watched this last game. I think it was game 4.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun game. They Utah scored 2 goals in like 29 seconds.
Yeah.
And I thought they were going to steal that game. I was so sure of it. I was like, we're living in a world where the Oilers were going to be down 3-1 and Vegas, but Vegas, they're sneaky.
Yeah, they are.
I would say the one going according to script, maybe not the games I expected each team to win. And I'm so happy it's going this way. And we're going to talk about it later, but is Minnesota Dallas. I am so happy that one is they're beating each other up. They're going into overtime. They hate each other.
Yeah.
I'm like every time I see them playing and there's chaos going on, I'm always like, thank you. We need this for round 2.
Yeah. And thank God that Minnesota won game 4 and made it 2-2, because I'm like, if they go down 3-1
Yes.
and they go back to Dallas, I'm like, oh man, Dallas will win that game. And they won game 4. I was like, oh, and then they won game 5. And I was like, okay, Okay,
Well,
here we go.
and here's how I see it. I feel like it's either Minnesota in 6 or Dallas in 7.
I agree 100%.
I feel like if they lose in their own because Minnesota's right, they're in
Hmm.
Minnesota for game
Yep.
6.
Yep.
I feel like if you lose that game in your own house, all the momentum,
Yep.
Dallas, even though they don't have DeBoer, I feel like they just relish game 7s. They
Yep.
live in it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I know we'll
You
talk
can't
about that
give
one more.
we'll get more into that, but you can't give any team any momentum. Like
No.
I don't know if you watched the Canadians Lightning game, but Canadians were up 2-0 at home. They could have been up 3-1 in the series. They lost. They gave up the lead. They lost, and I told my wife, I was like, I
That's gonna
don't
bite
know.
them in the
I
butt.
don't know if the Canadians will win another game because the Lightning came back. They're going to go back home. Probably going to win Game 5. They'll come back to Montreal with all the momentum. They just spanked them again, and like, here we go,
Yeah.
guys. Not your time. See you later. You can't
That
give them anything.
that series has been bonkers. That's
Yeah.
been such a good series. But
Yeah.
anyways, we can move on. We
Yeah.
can move on.
Okay.
Talk
First round
about
review for the ass.
yeah, we can talk about the best team now.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously they swept them, which is great. We have, I think, I was looking if um, the Dallas Minnesota series is 6 games. I believe we would play Saturday, and if it goes 7, I believe it's Monday. So either 6 days or 8 days off before we play again. So former players say, "Give me the rest." I mean, I didn't play in the NHL, but I guess it's different. If you have a nagging injury, you probably want the rest. But if you're
Yeah.
feeling good, I want to play. Like, give me a couple days off. Let's get back into it because if Dallas, Minnesota does go 7, and then they have a 1 or 2 day turnaround, the Avs have played in 8 days. You have rest versus rust, and someone's in the fight. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but other than
Yeah.
that, we'll obviously dive more into that too and coming up. But Avs swept them 4 games, looked great. Go ahead, thoughts, key takeaways, whatever you want to dive into.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I really not in a huge way, but there was a small little fear in the back of my head with Josh Manson being out. I had maybe this is my PTSD, but I had this reminder in my head of game 7 when we were playing Dallas and Mikko Rantanen just bullies Sam Girard for that wraparound goal and gets
Mm-hmm.
around him. And obviously, totally different situation. But I just had this fear of Nick Blankenberg, who's not the biggest guy. We don't have our guy that people just like to avoid besides Landy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like a little worried that that was going to be just enough of life to get the Kings back in it. That this was, let's do it for Kopi. We got to win this. Like, we got to do the impossible. They're having dreams of, 2012 Kings, 2014 Kings, like just doing the impossible. That I was like, is this the life that they needed to get back in? And just, that little adjustment that gives them a chance in a
Mm-hmm.
2-1 game.
Yep.
Well, thank goodness that was immediately handled when we saw the power play come alive. And me and Dave are texting. We're like, it's alive. It's alive.
Finally, we scored.
And the pass was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. So after that, they turned it on. They start looking good. And I'm like, oh, these are the Avs we're waiting for. Like, game 3, I would say that was probably their worst game in the series, and they came out. And then we lost like Manson with some bumps and bruises, things like that. I feel really confident coming out of this series. Like,
for sure.
Especially that having all the things we've talked about that we were stressed about, like the power play, getting out with health and then Josh Manson getting hurt, I was like, oh, I'm really worried about these things. These are the things we were talking about that we didn't want to like happen. The power play staying bad, people getting hurt, and just giving the Kings a little life. And man, they must have hurt us because they squashed all of the doubts we were having, a lot of the worries. The offense turned on. Kale looked fantastic.
Yes, he did.
That was one of those moments where I was like, oh, hey guys, just so you remember, like Kale is one of the best people in the NHL. And just in case you forgot, just watch how he makes other people dance around him while he's about to score.
Yeah.
And just even remembering, like, I heard another podcast talking about it, like all the similarities of this run and that run. Like, I remember in the Edmonton sweep, like Cale Makar went at Connor McDavid and said, hey, I'm going to shut you down a couple of times. And seeing that, I was like, it's still in there. He can still do that with the best of players
Yeah.
and score and also be so good defensively.
Mhm.
So I feel really excited. I know there's a lot of rest. They look great.
Yes.
I'm good.
I love it. So I have a theory about the first round with the Avs. So you know how like when you play a inferior team and you say like, oh, we're not going to take them lightly, but subconsciously you're like, we're better.
Totally.
So you always want to expect to win no matter who it is, but when it's not on your level, like the Kings, obviously, everyone can agree that Avs are the better team by far.
Yeah.
So you have a tendency to like kind of let up or not try as hard. I think the Avs did just what they had to every game to win. Don't push it too hard. Like don't overdo it because we're gonna score a goal. We're gonna win. And then game 4, when it's do or die for the Kings, they're like, okay, we have to step up our level from the previous 3 because we got to finish them off. And I think that's what we saw. So that's encouraging for me going for the next series because whether it's Mini or Dallas, obviously the level is going to go up a notch. And I think game 4 was a good example of like, okay, we got to raise our level, finish off the Kings. They did. They played their best game. They're going to have to raise it again for the round 2. And I think obviously they can. And then with the power play, obviously they scored, but minus Dallas, who I don't know if you saw the stat, but Dallas is like 9 for 21 on the power play in the first round. Like it's almost 50%, which is
they're surviving on the power play.
Yes, they only scored 2 even strength goals in the last 3 games. The rest of them in power play. But minus Dallas, I believe no other team really has a power play that's going above like 15%. Like like Ottawa didn't score. We obviously only scored 1. Kings I think scored 2 or 3, but no other team has like a power play that's humming because everything's so tightened up. So outside of Dallas, it's
I feel like
tight
I
power
think
play,
the
you know?
Ducks. I think the Ducks are. Is it the Ducks or Edmonton? One of them's having a good power play.
I think it's Edmonton always, but
I think the Ducks are doing good, but I think that was goalie issues. If I think they're having the same problems as usual.
Yes, exactly. So hopefully our power play keeps going. And another podcast I've listened to, which we had the same conversations in our text group, but there needs to be more shooting. And like with Kale hopefully coming alive, like they were making the point of if Kale's at the top of the power play and he doesn't shoot, then that makes it predictable too, because they don't have to worry about him either getting on net or doing his shake and bake like he did for that goal you're talking about. But if he starts shooting or changing lanes and getting on net, then they got to worry about him, and then it opens up Mac, and then it opens up Marty, and then Landy, and so hopefully Kale starts shooting more because, I mean, the guy can rip a wrister and slap shots too. Like he's got it. So start doing it, and hopefully round 2 we'll see more of that from everybody. That's what I'm hoping for. But sweep, mostly healthy. Yeah, I'm excited and I'm happy too. And Wedgie looked great, of course.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice because I feel like, I mean, to what you were saying, I feel like they were somewhat in like, hey, we're okay with playing your style. We're okay with showcasing our defense.
Mhm.
Like we have one of the best top 3, if not top 1 defense. We don't mind showing that off. But everybody was like, "Okay, we know you can do that. You've done it." Like, is everything really humming? And I think it's like to what you were saying. They're like, "Okay, close out. Let's show them what we can do. Let's let the horses run a bit." And like that power play looks so good. Like
They were finally
uh,
getting movement and everything. Yes.
yes, and letting and setting up something for Nate and just doing some stuff. I think they just felt loose in that game, and I feel like all of us felt like they were holding the sticks pretty tight, and they were like, "No, we're just doing what we need to do, and like we can do it. Like we're ready to go," which was just very encouraging, very relaxing for me. And with the Avs, I mean, this has been the Avs for years now. They've always started their offense through their D-men. So
Mhm.
to see Taser get a goal, to see Kale like and actually live within the structure of their offense and just, getting the offense going through their D-men, it just felt really encouraging. And I think that's what even made me feel comfortable that Manson's hurt is that Nick Blankenberg wasn't doing a ton, but he was within the structure of our
Yeah.
offense of like, he took a few too many hits. Like there was
Yeah,
a
he
few
did.
times I was like, bro, you're
He was getting smoked. Yeah.
smoked. But like didn't have any like super costly turnovers, was passing it, was keeping it like cycling, moving, and paired with Brett Burns, who's doing everything right, it
Dude,
felt
he's
like,
been great.
oh, we don't have the tough Josh Manson in the back, but we have someone that can run everything we need to run back there and do what we need to do. And we don't have to freak out about it as
Yeah.
much. But what's really nice is Josh Manson gets a whole week and then some
Yeah.
change
Yeah. To
to
be well
heal up.
rested. Yeah.
Yep.
Just piggybacking on Burns, which is hilarious. I don't know if you saw the shot. I think it was in Game 4. The Kings player, what is his last name? Like Nihilus or the big dude who's like 6'8" or can't remember
Yes.
his last name. They were.
Helen
Oh,
Neal.
it's Helenius. You're right,
Helenius.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
they were in the corner. Brent Burns 6'5". Okay, Brent Burns that's
Big
big
dude.
boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
looked like me on the ice. Like he was like at his shoulder. I'm like, I was laughing because they were in the scrum. Burns' helmet's off, and he's like, whatever they were talking to each other. He's just looking up like, yeah. And I'm like, and
Yeah.
he looked like a child standing there, and he's a big boy. So I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. It was honestly just really nice. And even like, okay, we win the series, even their little giving Kobe the last 2 minutes, cheering for him, and even like, hey, series is over, but we can still be like a class act team and give Kobe his flowers. Yeah, we demolished you in 4 games, but still get some love for a 20-year career,
Yeah,
which is super awesome. Like
yeah,
it's pretty cool. Like I think we respected Kobe's career, but also gave ourselves a nice little tune up, rev up for round 2, where we all knew, like, don't look past the Kings, but also that's where the playoffs really start for us.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I've heard now that we won the series and swept, everybody saying, oh, well, the Kings were the worst team in the playoffs, all of that fun stuff. And I'm like, okay, sure. But
Well, if they are the worst, if I mean, it's hard to say who exactly is the worst, but
yeah, yeah.
if they were, then the Avs deserve to play them because they were the President's Trophy winners. So
Exactly.
that's who they should get. It doesn't matter if it was the Bruins were the worst team or whoever, what conference. If you were the best in the league, you get to play the worst. That's the
Yep.
rules, I guess. But it was nice to see. I mean, obviously there's scrums and some chippiness, but no one on either side was really like dirty. I didn't really see
No.
any like Kings wise wasn't. We obviously weren't. No one was trying to like. There was no Jamie Benn stuff out there. No one cross checking someone's head
Yes.
into the
Ed.
ice. No one avoiding a hit to jump and pretending I don't see and cross checking someone in the back of the head. None of that crap. So that was nice to see on both sides. And then I don't know about you, but I definitely teared up a little bit when Kopi was skating around. Like, I mean, thinking back to playing and stuff, obviously not near on the level, but I mean, that's what you miss. Everyone says you miss the boys, and it's 100% true. It's you obviously miss the playing and the crowd, but it's the locker room. Like going every day
Yeah.
to see your buddies and practice and the stories and the joking around. Like, I just felt bad. I hated how they kept putting the camera on. My wife's like, "Stop showing him," because he looked like he was crying, you know. And
I
I don't
know.
fault the guy. I'd be probably bawling my eyes out. So, but awesome player, legend, great guy. Love to see it. Sucks that we had to sweep him, but hey, you know, life's tough.
Well, good thing this ain't a Kings podcast.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell. I mean, game 4 for sure. Game 4, not a lot of hitting. You can tell that the Kings were trying something different to try and get their offense going.
Yeah.
And it really opened it up for the Avs. Like their desperation made it a foot race that they just didn't have a chance to win. And even that, it was like, okay, we're opening things up. And their problem that they've had all season, their offense just sputtered. Like they had pressure, but most of it I felt like really confident that our defenders, our defensive structure was on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just shows like why they had to push so hard to make it into the playoffs and really fight at the end because yeah, that offense really just sputtered and didn't have much. But I wonder, looking at them now, like, okay, you guys don't want to lose to the Oilers again, but seeing where the Oilers are, even with a hurt McDavid, and they know how to play them already, like I wonder if they're like, man, we had a
Wish we could have
few
got him
losses.
again.
Yeah, like because there was a point, I think we talked about it, where the Kings could have shot all the way up, like right next to Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and we could have ended up playing Edmonton. Like, I wonder how much, like looking back now, maybe they're sitting in Cancun and Kempe's going, man, I wish we would have won this game and this game so we could have had another round with the Oilers. Yes, we've lost to them multiple outs, but maybe this was the year that how they're playing and how they're doing it would have benefited playing a hurt Connor McDavid. Leon looks fine. I was gonna say a hurt Leon Draisaitl, but
Yeah,
he
he looks
looks
fun.
so healthy.
Yeah.
But maybe this is the team because, like you said, the Ducks were like spinning down the toilet, and they're
Yes.
like, "We're not scared of the Oilers," and they look like they can come out of that series. So it's interesting to see that and like see how that series is going. And if the Kings are like, man, maybe we should have made our push a little earlier to get out
Yeah.
of this series and tested our luck again with the Oilers rather than going against the Avs and trying to be the scrappy underdog.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always next year. No Kobe
Yep.
now. Who knows what the obviously we're not Kings podcast, so don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't know what they're gonna look like next year, but
Totally different. Yeah.
congrats to Kobe on a career and congrats to us on the sweep. But next point, which I'll let you go first and see. I'm assuming probably have the same answer, but first round Avs, who was the best player? We'll just say player. We're not going to say it could be anybody, like player, goalie, whatever. But who was the best Avalanche wearing sweater skater goalie in the first round for the Avs? Who do you got?
It's got to be Scott. It's got to be Scott Wedgewood. I know, like I said, we're also a Scott Wedgewood podcast, like we like to
Yes.
talk about. But I think just at the beginning, like how much there was talk of even here, like, hey, are they going to do a tandem thing? The tandem thing's really successful. That the goalie are the thing we're like most worried about for the Avs. They're a juggernaut everywhere else, but the goalie, we don't know. Like to come out and just prove the haters wrong time and time again. Like the the Kings only scored 5 goals. Like 4 games and they only scored 5 goals. And there was a lot of like moments where I think they had a handle on it. Like I said, defensive structure, but they're like in every playoff, there's going to be some chaos in front of the net and a little more bumping and a little more getting in the way. And Scott Wedgewood, time and time again, handled the chaos in front of him, handled looking around people and looking around screens and dealing with all of this stuff, dealing with a penalty shot, and
Yeah.
just came out on top. And you look at the goals that they scored, they are some of like the best perfectly executed goals. I think of that one where Kempe redirects it, where he's on the side. I think it's a power play.
You can't stop that.
And you're like, that's when you just like say, Panarin is fantastic goal scorer, like
Yeah.
fantastic, and he puts it in the right spot for Kempe, and that's when you're like, that's just really good, you know.
Yeah.
Some of the so yeah, it's hard to get away from Scott Wedgewood of even like I heard a few times. Okay, game 3 is where you put Mackenzie Blackwood, and maybe if you want to try the tandem thing, you don't put him in game 4. You talk about it maybe game 1 of round 2, but just how dominant he played, you're like, I don't see how they go to Blackwood. Like,
Yeah.
I think ride the hot hand, and until there's an issue,
Yeah.
you can't even say Mackenzie Blackwood. And the thing is that they're so cool with each other, and they've been a tandem already in New Jersey that they're like so for each other, cheering each other on that you're like, let this MVP keep going. Let him cook. Let him go for it. So it's got to be Wedgewood. I don't know. Do you have anyone different? Maybe you have a sneak twist for me.
Adding on to that, I can't remember if it was Scott or if it was McKinsey, but they were talking about like, oh, what do you feel like if they other one's in the net, or do you want to get in? And you're both like, obviously you want to play, but if the one guy isn't playing well, that means the team is losing, and I don't want that. So
Yeah.
like that's selfish on my part. Like I want to get in the net, but that would mean that the team's losing, and I don't want that. So that's awesome to hear. And now Wedgwood gets 6 to 8 days off to rest too. So I mean, he's gonna be fresh. He just had an amazing series. He's got the rest, which I think probably most important for goalies, like to kind of reset his mind and
Yep.
get his body, because I'm sure he's banged up too. And I think if it was me, and I'm assuming since Bednar started him in the playoffs, so I think where his mindset's at, he's going to be the starter going forward. The only time that Blackwood's going to come in is if there's a bad game and it's just to fill in that game. I don't think Blackwood would start unless it was multiple bad games in a row, which I don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's going to be Wedgie all the way through. And as far as the best player, I'd like to come up with somebody who played the best, but I think because of the way they played in the first round of just kind of doing what they needed to do, no one really was going above and beyond. So obviously Wedgwood was the backbone. I'll shout out a couple guys. Like obviously Manson was great before he got hurt, but Lucky and LOC. Those get, like we've talked about, the dogs, baby, on the that would love them on the power play with their penalty killers. Like Lucky on Panarin at the top of the point on that power
was
play was just
so awesome.
I was like standing up, like yes, yeah, like just hounding him. No, that's what you need to do. No room, getting on him, poking the puck, and got it out of the zone. And then obviously LOC with his speed. And I mean, our power play isn't great, but if you're 5-on-5 and your penalty kill is in the top three, I think it offsets it because I mean, we get a penalty, and I'm like, sweet, we get a chance to score a goal. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, LOC's out there, he's gonna get a breakaway probably. He's gonna go
Yes.
down and score, and he did that this series. And so those two guys, I love watching them. The speed, the hustle, they don't care. They want that puck. Like it's like they call them dogs, I think, for the reason of like, you know how you like throw a ball for the dog and go get it? That's those guys. The pucks, they don't have the puck, they go get the puck. They're like
They
a
want
dog.
the
Like,
Yeah.
that's my puck. I'm gonna go get that puck. And that's what you want to see. So obviously Wedgewood for me, same as you, best player, but those guys were great. Everyone played great when they had to, but I think we're gonna see more of our stars and the upper echelon skills come out in the
Yes.
next round. For sure. Because they have to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like there's props you can give to each and every line that there was something that stuck out for each line. Like, I think just going even back to the PK, I love that you on power play for the other team, they either have to deal with Arturi Lehkonen and LOC, which we saw just him take his lunch money.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, Panarin, I need your lunch money. I'm going to be taking that. Thank you very much." But then also getting to see Brock Nelson and Val
Yeah.
as another PK. And just, I love watching Val on the PK, how much he hounds people and how smart Brock Nelson is on the PK. He just does little things. And then the Tasmanian Devil line, like, is so sick. I love watching them just they're not the biggest, but they are just feisty. They
Yeah.
will get in anyone's face, and it's always funny. Like, oh, they're out there. There's probably going to be a quick stoppage because everybody is like fighting,
Yeah.
knocking, and they just instigate, but they rarely come out of those scrums with like a minor or anything. They're like getting hit, they're getting
Yeah.
instigated, they're poking, but somehow someone else is going in the box because they just know how to like cause havoc within the game to set up that first line to have an opportunity to score. Like they do the fourth line so well that Jared Bednar can just roll four lines and feel so confident about each line. And our third line is nasty too.
Yeah.
Like the experience on that line. And then what was cool, I think it was game 4. They put Gabe on the first line and put
Yeah.
Lecky on the third line. And I was like, having Lecky and Nick Waugh on the same line does not feel fair. And that's
Yeah.
our third line. So I was like, we got a lot of MVPs. We got a lot of people probably
That's the
chomping
depth,
at the
man.
bit.
It's we keep saying it's like reminiscent of 22, like when they won the cup. Like there's so much depth. Like whoever hops over the board, you're like, oh, it's Landy, it's Mac, oh, it's Nelson, it's Val, it's Lecky, it's Kelly, it's Ellis, like Kadri, like you keep
Yes.
Marty, like it's like, oh, I forgot
Yes.
about him. Like there's
Yes.
so many good guys. Like you have high end skill, you have the dogs, you have dogs and skill combined, and like all those guys can score. Like we said, Parker Kelly scored 20 freaking goals this year. Like, I
So
mean,
awesome.
come on. Like, so that's great to see. And I'll give one last shout out before we move on to the next thing. But it was awesome. I knew this is how it was going to be. But when Colton came back in the lineup, I think it was like, it might have been you on the pod who was talking about, um, or maybe I was heard it online, but of like when he got told he wasn't playing, he's like, oh man, I need to step this up. Like I'm not
Yeah.
playing. And when he
Yeah.
came back, he looked like anything that had a King's sweater on. He's like, I'm gonna put you through the wall. And it
And
was
he's
awesome.
so fast. He added
Yeah.
just good speed to that second line and a little bit of energy. And here's the thing, like I don't think Kivy was playing bad. That's the
No.
crazy part. Like Kivy was playing good on the fourth line and then putting Parker Kelly on the second, I thought was working well. But to even see Ross Colton be hungry and be
Hmm.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna show my presence," and him skating at supersonic speed to throw his whole body at someone. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, the second line needs that." That's really nice because Val, how he skates, Brock, just having a little bit of a speedy guy on that second line is really nice.
Yeah.
So it's really cool, kind of where we're at because like you were saying, talking about the 22 team, like having Darren Helm, Cogliano, I forget
Yeah.
who was on that fourth line with them. Was it LOC?
Yeah. I think it was LOC. Yeah.
It might have been, yeah. I remember when they would come on, even that Blues game where Helm wins it in the like buzzer beater.
Yeah.
But even then, like they would come onto the ice, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's our good, responsible fourth line that's gonna put the first line in a good spot." And I feel that about this line, but also they're just going to make it hell for the other line while
Yeah.
they're on there with them. And that's the best. I feel really confident. I don't have that moment where I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know how I feel about this line."
Yeah.
Where like I feel like I rag on Charlie Coyle a lot. He's a great skater, but I remember that line would come on the ice, that third line, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this line. I would rather the fourth line be in there
Yeah.
or something like that. And I would just have that little like knot in my stomach. I don't really feel that with any of the lines. I feel like
Same.
all of them have something that they bring to the table that is going to make it hard for the other team. And
Yep.
we haven't
I
even
agree.
talked about like the D pairings. I
I
feel
know.
like we feel so stout in that. And I'm talking, you can interrupt me whenever. Um, I love that Kulak is becoming the responsible Devon Taves for
Yep.
Malinsky. Like,
Yes. They're
I
kind
feel
of
like
like
they
Makar
mirror each other.
Malinsky
Yes.
2.0. Yep. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Not obviously not Kale McCarr, not Devon Taves level, but they give another like mirror of that. Maybe like a
Yes.
notch or two down as, Malinsky's growing into who he is. It's just really nice, like the D pairings. And I've said it before. I love Manson and Bernsey just
Yes.
always throwing pucks at the net.
Yeah. Yeah. Our D. I mean, each one of them's got their own unique skills, but again, it's kind of like the forwards. Like it doesn't matter who's out there. I feel good about it, but you got a little bit of everything, and everyone's kind of got a little edge to their game. Like that's why I'm like people are like, oh, Quinn Hughes is on the same level as Makar. I'm like, pump the brakes a little bit. He doesn't even play the penalty kill. He's a lot smaller, but I never seen him get nasty. Makar, he doesn't show it a lot, but he gets in the scrums. He mixes it up. He talks some trash. He'll throw the body. And Taves the same way. And then you got
Yep.
Malinsky and Kulak, which is kind of the same thing. Kulak's got a little bit of grease to his game, and he's not afraid to mix it
Yes.
up. And then you got the big boys of Manson and Bernsey who will just flatten you. And anybody who tries to start anything, I mean, Burns will knock someone out too if he has to, but you just
Yes.
got Manson to be like, he can just be like, hey, come over here, Man's like, who am I knocking out right now? Like, I'll take care of it. So,
Yes.
it's great to see, and we'll kind of loop in the second round preview with the only kind of baddish news, which hopefully it's not too detrimental. Of obviously Manson went out with the injury, and playoff time especially, they're really secretive about what exactly it is. But you saw the same thing I saw, the way he got hit. I'm assuming it's kind of the Landy situation when he was out. It's got to be the ribs of some
Yeah.
sort. He went right into the top of the boards. Hopefully it's just bruising or some muscle tissue. Hopefully it's not a break because I mean Landy. Did Landy actually break ribs? Did they ever say if he broke ribs?
I don't
I can't
I don't
remember.
know. And I
Because
feel like Manson's was worse than hitting the goalpost.
yeah, and he
Uh,
wasn't really expecting it. It looked like because like
yeah.
which is worse. So hopefully it's not a break because I mean you can play through that, but it's really painful because it's every breath you take, every time you breathe, you feel it,
Every
and then
move you make. Yeah.
every breath you take, exactly. And let alone hitting or shooting. So hopefully it's just
Yeah.
bruising, and not actually bone. But obviously, like you said, Blankenberg came in. Hopefully Manson's back for the start of game one of the next round, because as well as Blankenberg played, he's not Josh Manson.
Yeah.
He can't replace that necessarily. So, how do you feel if Manson can't go? If Blankenberg has to play a game or two against Minnie or Dallas and those monsters on their forward lines, do you think it's enough of a band-aid until Manson can get back, or do you think that's a big hole that
Yeah,
we have to deal with?
that's what's interesting. I think that's where like who we play matters. I think I would be a little concerned if we're playing Dallas just because of how they play.
Yeah.
I feel like he might get bullied a little bit. I just imagine you brought it up, a Jamie Benn back there with Blankenberg somehow, just a matchup or, they couldn't switch a pairing and they're on there together, or like Miko, who's a little bigger.
Yeah.
I don't really love that. And that's not even to say Minnesota doesn't have some big guys that throw their weight around, but I just think the game will be a little different with Minnesota. Just watching how they play, they want to do 5-on-5. They want to, move the skate around. They really want to get Hughes and Faber moving, shooting. They don't want to like muck it up too much as Dallas. So I feel like if we're playing Dallas, that gives me a lot of pause of like, I think that's why they got rid of Sam Girard. They
Yeah.
wanted a bigger guy that was responsible with the puck and were willing to lose a little bit of Sammy's skating dynamic to have
Mm-hmm.
that responsibility. And we
Yeah.
saw it. I just felt with Kulak, like he's big, he's responsible, he's going to handle whatever comes at him. I think also because he's played the Kings and he's like, I know what you guys have to offer. I can handle this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just having bigger people like on I think is really nice. Now Malinsky's not that big, but he just knows how to skate to put himself in the way and does some things.
Yeah.
Blankenberg, I mean, even just seeing him like take those hits, he got back up, which I'm like, good job, bud. But I'm like, Dallas has
You can
some,
only take so many of those. Well, because
yeah,
remember, bringing up Sammy G, the Stanley Cup run, he got his sternum broken from a
yeah.
big hit behind the net. So,
I forgot about that.
yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. So that's I'm hoping, like you said, it's more bruising, and professional athletes can do a lot in a week to get better,
Yeah.
and what they're willing to play through. I mean, was it Val that he like couldn't put his skate on because
Yeah.
his foot was like demolished in the cup run?
Yep.
So I don't worry about like Manson's toughness to get back on the ice. It's more like, will he be significantly injured that he just has to not be on the ice, where it
Yeah.
kind of worries me.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And, all great points. I think I feel the same way. I think Minnesota is kind of like the Malinsky Kulak of us. They're kind of like our mirror image. They got really great D with a lot of high end talent. They got a lot of depth. They got some high end forwards and Zuccarello, Krill, obviously. Boldy has been playing amazing.
Fantastic.
They
Yeah.
have great second, third, fourth lines. So it's kind of like another version of the app. So you're kind of like playing yourself in a way, but they also don't have anybody that's. I'm not worried about somebody headhunting. Like obviously stuff happens, like you don't mean it, but I'm not like, oh, I gotta watch. Hopefully Boldy doesn't take out Makar, or like hopefully Hartman doesn't
Yeah.
elbow Mac in the face. Like that's not going to happen to where Dallas. I think they have skilled players too, obviously, but I think the Avs are more skilled, more depth all over. But I think Dallas is kind of like the nastier version of the Kings. Like they know they can't beat us straight up with skill necessarily, so they just try to abuse and which I mean that happens in the playoffs. That's the goal. You want to like not hurt
Totally.
people, but you want to like make them feel the hits and like this isn't
Make
going to
them
be
think
easy.
about it. Yep.
Exactly. But then you have the I don't think anybody outside of Dallas is a Jamie Benn fan just because I I loved playing hard. Like I'm a shorter guy and I love going to corners and I love battling and all that stuff. What pissed me off playing is the people that go over the line, the people that are doing the cross checks in the back of the head, the elbows up high, the dirt, like the extra dirty stuff, and that's Jamie Benn to a T. And
Yep.
I don't want to have to worry about that because you know the Avs are thinking about it too. They're like, you go in the corner, it's one thing to think about, oh, here comes Eric, he's gonna hit me hard. I know it'll be fair, but he's gonna not let me get this puck for
Yeah.
real. Compared to, oh, here comes Eric, I better keep my head up because he's gonna elbow my head through the glass. That's
Exactly.
a way different scenario. So I think personally, I'd rather play Minnesota, even though we all want to exercise our Dallas Demons. But I just have a feeling they're gonna be like, we're gonna try to injure these guys and get to the conference finals again. Not we're gonna win. Like we're gonna hurt them so bad that we win 4 games.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, I definitely know we need to exercise some demons with Dallas, and we need to handle our business there. But I'm also more in the business of having a parade in 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 June than hey, we beat Dallas, but we're so out of gas, which has happened to them multiple times.
Yep.
Dallas will go, and then by the time they make it to the conference finals, they're out of gas because they've just been throwing people and bludgeoning people for the past 2 rounds.
Yep.
And I think with Minnesota, if Minnesota gets out, I think we win that series, but I think the way we both play, that the winner of the Western Conference would come out of that series.
For sure. Yep.
Where I just think, like, if we play Dallas, it both whoever comes out of that series will be tired.
Yeah.
They will be coming into the conference finals like, and I think we can do that and come out of that and win it all. But I think Minnesota, us, that would be like, hey, this is really like who's going to play for the cup. We feel both energized coming out of this series. It'll be long, but it'll be a different kind of thing on the body.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my thoughts.
Yeah. I agree, and both Minnie and Dallas have good goaltending too. So I think people say Ottinger's better, but I mean he's had a couple good games, but he also let in 6 goals in game 1 too. So he's prone to letting in goals, and like the big brouhaha last year in the conference finals when he let in the 5 or 6, and DeBoer called him out. He can't beat the Oilers. He can't beat the Oilers. And it cost him his job,
Yeah.
but he's prone to letting in 4,
He
5,
has
6
those
goals.
games. Yep.
So I mean, it happens. So that doesn't scare me too much. It's just more of the, like we said, the cheap shotting and and like I said, play hard. Like
Testing the line.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the playoffs. Obviously, you're doing everything you can win, but it's got to be like in the rules necessarily. Like stuff happens in scrums, and I get that, but like trying to physically like hurt people and like put them out, like I hated that, and I hate watching it.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be like, oh, we lost to Dallas because so and so got taken out, and we're missing 3 players. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that crap or have that go on. So, yeah.
But okay, so I have been hearing though I've actually been hearing a lot of people think Minnesota will come out of that series.
They might, yeah.
Yeah, they might. Who knows? So how I've been hearing it is a lot of people say that we're going to get the rust mollywopped game 1, and Minnesota's going to win game 1 on us. That we could still win the series, but because of the rust, we're gonna take that first game L. How do you feel about that? How does that hit you?
Like I said, I get it. It's valid because obviously they're not sitting on the couch for a week. They're going to be practicing. They're going to be skating. And my hopes is because I mean they swept the first round in 22. They swept the conference final, so they had breaks then too, and they won the cup. Obviously, my hope is they're obviously practicing, but going okay. We get this bonus rest. We swept the Kings. We get a week off. Let's rehab. Like nowadays with all this stuff, they have hyperbaric chambers, red light, massage. Everyone's gonna massage. Like I mean, they're like pampered, which is great. So I think they'll be feeling great. And my hope is in that locker room, Landy or whoever goes, okay, guys, the Kings were kind of getting our feet wet. This is the playoffs. We did what we had to do. We ramped it up in game 4. We've been off a week. We all feel good. We're rested. Let's come out this first game against whoever it may be at home and fly around like it's the first game of the regular season because we're fresh and demoralize them. Like
Yes.
I have this feeling that game 1 is going to be what Mini did to Dallas. Like whoever we play, it's going to be 5, 6, 7 goals. Whoever we're playing is going to be like, who is this team? They're going to be buzzing around like nuts. We're all going to be texting going, they're flying. Like this is awesome because
Yeah.
they're so rested. Like that's what I'm thinking is going to happen because they know they have to step it up. It's not the Kings. It's going to be a tougher test. And I think they're going to come out buzzing. I think we're going to dominate game
I
1.
like it.
Yeah.
So I heard this theory, and this is agreement with you, that rest is not good for the like young team that didn't expect to be there, that they need to kind of carry that momentum.
Yes.
But the old experienced have been here before, that they know how to handle that. I think I agree with that. I think like them having second round struggles as of late, or Dallas struggles as of late, I think gives them a little bit extra focus. And I even think what we talked about earlier, them knowing just enough what was needed to get out of round 1 was in preparation of, we know what's coming round 2.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we didn't see a huge Nate Dogg appearance until game 4 because of
He
his
knows.
competitive nature, that he's saying, I'm conserving all I can, all that is needed, because I'm going to be a sick, mean animal in round 2, and I'm going to wreak havoc. And that is what I am hoping for. That is like what I'm expecting for round 2, that whoever we play, because that's the thing, Minnesota doesn't really have strong centers. They don't have like amazing center depth. So I'm hoping that Nate kind of goes, you know what? I am the best centerman on this ice. So I'm going to make life terrible for them, because I've had around, I've been seeing it all on Instagram, like the Calgary coach saying, playing the
Oh
Avs
yeah.
round 1,
That's a
waste of
great
8
8
days.
days. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that Nate was like, okay, I'm just going to release the dog
Yeah.
and go nuts. And that is what I'm hoping for round 2. That was always in his mind. And he was like, I'm getting to the Stanley Cup, and there's nothing this round 2 opponent can do about it.
Yes. I agree. And piggybacking on your thing about the old guys have been there and they appreciate the rest of the young team. Let me ask you this. At an average age of 30 years, who has the oldest team left in the Stanley Cup playoffs right now?
My first inclination is Pittsburgh.
That's
But
what I would say too.
Is it us?
It is us. 30 years old is the average. We're the oldest team on average left. So
I thought
going off
Brock,
of that of the old
Brock
guys
and
needing the
Bernsey
rest.
really add some
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Well, because you think about like we have younger guys too, but our younger guys are like 25, 26, 27 to where even Pittsburgh has like with Kindle, I believe, is like 19. They have a lot of
Is
guys that are in their early 20s.
is
Because
Sam
I
our
would have said,
youngest guy?
is what was that? I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Sam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
So
have a
we're
young team.
seasoned. And that's true. And I think it also plays a part the rest thing too of it would probably hurt us more if we hadn't won the cup. Of like, oh, we got the first round out of the way, second round coming up. What to expect? You have a week layoff. They're like, we've been here. They swept 2 series in 22. They're like, take this rest. The old guys are probably like, hey guys, do what you need to do. This is bonus time. Get your body right, get your mind right because we're going to war. So take this
Yeah.
time to reset, recharge, and come out game one, round two, and let's get after it.
Yeah.
And I think with your McKinnon thing too, I think he was kind of holding it back because they didn't need to. He didn't need to go full dog mode because it was the Kings and he was saving it, and we saw a little bit of it coming out in Game 4. And I think he's gonna. I think we're gonna see the Avs team that we're all waiting for in round one come out in round two, and I think we're gonna see in Game 1. Actually, I think it's gonna be like I'm probably gonna be crying with happiness. Like this is what I've been waiting for, baby.
I also feel like Nate just has like game 7 of last year nonstop playing in his house. And he just sits in the dark watching it, getting more and
Like
more
a
angry.
sicko.
Yeah. And he just invites some of the team over and he's like, hey, do you guys want to hang out? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they come over to that scene and he's like, sit here and watch it with
Yeah.
me.
Yep. I could see that. I could
Like
see
a
that.
complete madman.
Yep. Yeah. So,
Country's like, I wasn't even here, bro. And he's like,
yeah,
shit.
it doesn't matter. Yes. Yeah, we need that. And last year was obviously kind of weird with we got Landy back, but coming in the playoffs like that, like
Yeah.
it's so tough. And I think a full year of Landy, like we talked about, like how important he is to them. Like they faltered when he was out of the lineup this year, and how great they were all year when he was in the lineup. I think it's just that steadying voice of he's the dog that leads the dogs. Like he gets in the fight, he'll fight anyone, defend his teammates.
Yeah.
He's Nate is the psychopath in the locker room around the ice where Landy can snap, but it's more controlled. Where I think his voice when he talks, they're like, okay, Landy's gonna lead us into the fire. And they got all the pieces. They got the quiet Makar who leads. You got the fiery Nate who speaks his mind, and you got all the compliments of everyone else fitting in perfectly.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's before the playoffs. We were also the same thing. We're excited. I think this happened. We got through round one, and I feel just as confident, and maybe more so after seeing Wedgewood and how he played and
Yeah.
everything. I might even be more confident. So it's going to be good either way. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Does Minnie play? They get 2 days off. Do you know? Do they play tomorrow or do they play Friday?
That is a good question.
Well, either way, next pod we'll know.
We'll know.
We'll know who it is. Yeah.
We might have to mix it up and for this next round do some instant reaction. So
I'm down for that. I was thinking about that too, like a full week and like you got 2 games potentially, maybe 3 sometimes. Do some rapid reaction or like a bonus pod or something like the day after or day of game. And yeah. Fresh in the mind. Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Maybe we do it for the fans.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
For the 3 watching, you guys get to get some bonus podcasts.
We do it for you guys.
Thanks for just sticking it in and holding on.
By the fans, for the fans, diehards only.
Come on.
Right. With that, do you have any last thoughts leading into next week and who might play? Anything else you want to touch on?
Go Avs, go!
That's right.
I don't care who we're just gonna beat either team, either one.
We got it. We got it, baby. But thanks again for listening. As always, if you're on our YouTube channel, watch the recording or come watch live. Follow us on X and Fred's and Instagram, Eyes On Avs. We're trying to post more on there and sharing clips from there. So we like the engagement. We want to hear from you guys and see what you have to say about the pod or about the Avs. Talk about it. We'll respond back. And thank you for watching another episode. So
appreciate you guys.
See ya.